Coming at you live from 801. Let's boogie. Alright, y'all. I don't know about you, but I'm hyped that the NFL is back. I'm just hoping that, even though they're not really doing bubble style, there hasn't been any COVID cases too much as of lately. Alright, let's jump right into it. We started the NFL with a banger with the Super Bowl defending champs and Texans. It was an interesting game. You knew it was going to be kind of high scoring. They didn't really have any preseason. Kind of wanted to see how good the Texans were, especially without Hopkins. That's a big loss. So, everybody saw the game. Chiefs won against Texans. I'm going to be honest, man. They look pretty... Deshaun Watson looks like he needs some weapons out there, like a big go-to weapon. It's hard to replace Hopkins. He's one of the best in the business, man. He's probably the best receiver in the NFL, and he's balling. So the Chiefs and Texans, Pat Mahomes looked smooth. The offense looked good. The biggest takeaway that you could take away from that game is that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the real deal. Boy had hype. They looked like they had all the pieces already, and now they have a running back to that squad. Ooh, that's going to be tough. That's going to be real tough for the rest of the season. Chiefs look damn good. Next game I want to talk about, the Jets and the Bills. Honestly, who has high expectation for the Jets anyways? The Bills ended up winning 27-17. Not really a surprise to me. The Bills honestly should have won by a lot more. If Josh Allen were to hit John Brown at the end of the game, would have looked a lot different. So the Jets, I'm surprised that they even have 17 on the board, to be honest. They kind of got lucky. They're fighting for the number one overall pick. After looking at these games, oh man, the Jets is trash. Like, Lev Bell, you need to get out of there. Go back to the Steelers or something, because they trash. And sorry, bro, they're going to stack the box all day. The Bills defense, we're going to see. We're going to see if that's really the Bills division, because Cam and them look good. All right, Packers and Vikings. Packers 43-34 over the Vikings. High-scoring game. What this proved to me, honestly, is that Aaron Rodgers, don't piss him off. Because dude will come out balling, swinging, throw it to mostly Devontae Adams, but he got like random receivers out there. I had a funny feeling Rodgers is going to start off the season really good. But at the same time, the Vikings defense that we know and love is not the same. It's a brand new defense, pretty much. I know Mike Zimmer is a solid defensive coordinator and knows how to get a defense whipping, but I don't know, man. The Vikings just look further off, especially without Diggs. I know they scored a lot of points. Dalvin Cook definitely showed up with a bunch of touchdowns, or a couple touchdowns. But other than that, man, like Thielen had garbage touchdowns, so it wasn't too impressive. Honestly, the game was a lot more of a blowout than it is up here. They should have won by more. Eagles in Washington. Actually, a big surprise. Eagles in Washington. Washington, to be honest, I thought they were going to be fighting for the number one overall pick. But being that the Eagles, they don't have an O-line, they don't really have any receivers for Wentz to throw to, it's tough, man. I know Washington has a solid defensive front, but I didn't think they were that good. Chase Young looked better than advertised, honestly. I don't even think he's getting as much love as he should be. He balled out, and what we learned is that division is trash. It's really up for grabs, between Cowboys, Washington, Giants, and the Eagles, and you're never really out of it. It seems like someone coming out of the division is going to be 9-7, making it to the playoffs. It's just blunt. That division is trash. Next game. Browns versus the Ravens. Big trust. The biggest blowout of the first week. Ravens look solid. You knew what they're gonna do. They're gonna run heavy, and Lamar Jackson's definitely improving his passing game. And this is the game to do it. Blew them out, and the Browns. I don't know, Baker and Odell. They just not really having chemistry. Honestly, what I learned from this is that Odell really doesn't. Looks like he doesn't want to be there. To be honest, he's checked out. The boy is just ready to go somewhere else. I don't know. He just isn't feeling it for whatever reason. Odell just doesn't look happy at the Browns, just to put it quite honest. So Colts and Jaguars. Jaguars end up beating the Colts 27-20. This is actually this is one of my favorite ones because I really do like Minshew. He gets no love, but the boy is a beast, man. He's pretty damn accurate. Doesn't have a major arm, but he's very smart. Knows how to use his weapons. He knows what the offense is going to, where to go and what they're scheming up for. Honestly, man, the Colts look good right off the bat with Phillip Rivers. And they started to sizzle out. The defense for the Jaguars started being a little bit more stout. And Minshew, man, Minshew mania is a real deal. You better jump on that bandwagon sooner rather than later, because I know a lot of people thought they were going to be the number 1 overall pick. They might not make the playoffs, but they are a year or two away, honestly, from making the playoffs. I wouldn't say contending. We got to see how good Minshew is, honestly, because his ceiling is pretty high from what I can see. All right. Panthers and Raiders. The Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, not the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, end up winning 34-30. Way to set the tone on a new town. It was a good win, honestly, for John Gruden. Because McCaffrey came into town. McCaffrey looks like a damn monster, as he always does. But Josh Jacobs came out and started balling, man. He started scoring. He's like a touchdown machine. The Ruggs got involved really early, so I don't know if he's got banged up, but it looks like the Raiders have something going on. But I'm going to be honest with you. The Raiders and the Panthers, they're probably both one of the worst teams in the NFL. So I wouldn't read into this game too much. Sorry, Vegas fans, man. But I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to see in the later weeks, because I don't think either teams are really that good. Panthers are rebuilding, and the Raiders are just, honestly, they're like in the middle of the pack at best. So that's what I learned. The Bears and the Lions. These are two. The Bears ended up squeaking this one barely by the Lions, 27-23. It was a crazy game. It looked like it was a snoozer because the Lions are up big early, smacking that ass, and then all of a sudden Trubisky, was it Trubisky? They call him Trubisky. He started going off, man. He started throwing some dimes, started doing his thing. I've never seen him do before. Maybe he's taking that next step. Maybe it's because Nick Foles came and I don't know, started pushing him or whatever. Anyways. Started looking good out there, and brought the Bears down, and ended up putting them in the game-winning drive with a dime to Anthony Miller. No one feels worse than DeAndre Swift, man. Matthew Stafford took him all the way down, put the ball in the right spot with no one around him. DeAndre Swift, welcome to the NFL, man. That's a tough start, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Not everyone's gonna like you after this. Probably gonna be in a doghouse for a little bit, just because you do have a dog over there, and Adrian Peterson, one of the GOATs. He can't really catch the ball, but I don't know, man. They drafted you pretty early, and you did cost them a game, but you're young, man. Keep your head up. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was a Lions fan, I'd be livid. I would be livid at you. All I can say is pick your head up and get better with the rest of your career. What I learned from this is that Trubisky, I don't know if he's the real deal yet. I gotta see a couple more games, but he shows flashes. I wouldn't say he's the franchise QB yet, but the Bears are, I don't know, they're not as good as I thought they would, and they're overhyped in my opinion. I think the Packers, the division runs through the Packers and Aaron Rodgers until Aaron Rodgers leaves. All right, on to the next one. Seahawks and Falcons. Big one. To me, this is a low-key, a very, very intriguing game just because Russell Wilson, no matter who he has around him, seems to make them a lot better than what they actually look like. But this year, he has a pretty good, 1-2 punch, at least 1-2 combo with DK and Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's always been there. But DK, man, he started coming on at the end of the year. I know he balled out a little bit in the beginning of the year. He ended up breaking off free for end of the game touchdown. Looks pretty solid. But I was really interested to see Todd Gurley over there, man. Todd Gurley in ATL. I know he balled out at Georgia, so it was a good homecoming for him. And Julio there. I knew the lanes were going to be a lot more wide for him. Started off the game really good. But they started trailing, so they had to bring in a different back, the backup Edo Smith. So ended up getting a lot more love in the first half. But Seahawks, they look good, man. Russell Wilson always looks good every year. Well, probably the best quarterback in the league. Him and Mahomes is up there for the debate. So what we learned, man, from this game, it looks like honestly, the Seahawks look solid. They have a solid running game. They have a solid receiving core, and it just proves that the NFC West is the best division in the NFL, and it's not even close, to be honest. Dolphins and Patriots. Dolphins end up losing 11-21. The big thing, what I took was I was excited to see Cam. Cam's on his redemption tour. He on a solo redemption tour, and him doing his thing over there in Belichick's system. They don't really have too much big personalities, but Cam is being Cam, and he's having fun, and he looks like he's having a blast. The Dolphins, I know they're competing for the number 1 overall pick. Probably them and the Jets. After watching Week 1, them and the Jets are up there for the first overall pick this year. For probably Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, what they call it, right? But I know the Patriots end up winning pretty comfortably. But I know the Dolphins started coming back, and it was just starting to get a little bit tight. And to be honest, I'm not impressed by the Patriots. As much as I love Cam, I'm not impressed. We're gonna see how they do throughout the year. In my eyes, it looks like it's the Bills division. If Josh Allen, he doesn't even have to ball out as soon as Tom Brady left. He has the weapons. He has the defense. It's gonna be hard for Cam to win because his whole team opted out. All right, Chargers and Bengals. This one was kind of a fun one too, to be honest. The Chargers, the big thing about them is that, they're kind of the second team in LA, so no love from them. But they have a really, really good team, man. They got a solid defense. They got a solid front. They don't have really, they have the QB sitting, but they got Tyrod Taylor. He's been in the league. He's a check down master. And Herbert is, just waiting for his turn to start. So we didn't see that, but we did see the number 1 overall pick go, Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow looked good. And in my eyes, he looked pretty solid, looked ready to go. He kind of got robbed with AJ Green with the offensive PI. It didn't look like it. It didn't look like an offensive. Well, I saw the push off, but it's not like a huge push off. Honestly, it wasn't too bad in my eyes. Then they still had a chance. They still had a chance to send it to overtime, and the kicker just botched it. And then I don't know if he's faking an injury, but he missed the chippy. I know if I missed it, I would pull something too. Like, man, that's a chippy, bro. There's been 2 chokes in Week 1, so I don't know. What I learned from this is that the Chargers, they're not going to. There's nobody that's going to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry for the LA fans that were hoping that they're going to be solid. They look good on paper, but probably, I don't know. I love Anthony Lynn, but it doesn't look like that's a team that's going to win the Super Bowl anytime soon. All right. Cardinals and 49ers. That one hurt, man. I'm a big Niner fan. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Ended up losing to the Cardinals in a squeaker, 24-20. What we took away from this game is that Kyler Murray's a beast, man. Kyler Murray scrambles, and he's pretty damn accurate, man. He's a different kind of quarterback than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson runs first a lot of times, and throws a lot less than Kyler. Kyler's just like in the offense, literally built for him. But solid outing, man. For those who didn't really watch any of the games last year, the Cardinals were good last year, man. They played us good last year. They just lost these squeezers, man. But the 49ers, I'm not too worried. If I had to be honest, I think the Cardinals are solid. They were as good as advertised. Their offense looks solid. Kyler looks a lot more comfortable. He looks a lot better with DeAndre Hopkins. They didn't really run anything too different, to be honest. They just put DeAndre Hopkins in a different spot. They didn't really run any wrinkles, which is kind of weird, but it's fine. I think honestly the Niners bounces back, but the Cardinals could get in a hot streak, man. They look solid. I know their next games are pretty cupcakes, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Hopefully they don't believe in their own hype, because it just honestly just proves that that the NFC West is the hardest division by far. Looks like Kyler Murray is the real deal. Jimmy Garoppolo got to step up. I know he made some bad passes towards the end of the game, but I'll give him a pass. He didn't have his receivers, didn't have too much chemistry with Trent Taylor. He was out. He's our number 2 receiver, or number 3. Dante Pettis and KB. KB got a lot of work, but he's mostly a 3, and he had to be a 1. So it was different. I give Jimmy a pass for now. If he, starts messing up a little bit more, then those talks. The Niners are ready to win now, so those talks will definitely come up again about him being overrated. All right, Bucks and Saints. That was probably HBO right there. Saints ended up winning over the Bucks, 34-23. Tom Brady looked solid in the beginning. Then he started making a lot of mistakes, which is to be expected, man. The Saints are a solid team. The Bucks, on paper, they are a solid team. But Drew Brees been in that system for years. And he's had Michael Thomas for years. He's had this same, group of guys for years. Tom Brady kind of just got there and got with Mike Evans, Godwin, and just Leonard Fournette. He just a bunch of new guys that just barely got together, but is going to be really, really solid. To be expected, they had some miscommunication. Tom Brady had a couple picks. I wouldn't say that was to be expected, but I was expecting a little sluggish start. So not too worried about the Buccaneers. It's not like his arm is weak. Honestly, Drew Brees, his arm has been weak for a while. So I know he's super accurate. I don't hate me, Drew Brees. He's super accurate, probably the most accurate in the NFL. But they're probably bringing a different person in for like a Hail Mary for around the 50-yard line. Anyways, what we learned from this is that Tom Brady and them, they took a little humble pill. I know they're the team's most hyped, like the Browns last year, but the division still runs through the Saints. They're still a solid team, and it's gonna be a fun battle when they play again the second time. All right, Cowboys and Rams. I honestly, man, I don't know if the Cowboys are just overhyped or what, but Zeke looked good, and that's about it. Because all I saw was a lot of Amari Cooper getting slammed by Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Ramsey with his mouthpiece off, just continuing to talk. So, being that Ramsey is that man, he just got paid too. It's fun to see him not really take a drop off and wanting to be that number one corner in the league that we all know and love. That's fun to watch. The Rams honestly won 20-17. It was, to me, I thought the Cowboys were gonna win. Rams really surprised me. Their offense looks really, really similar to the damn Cardinals, man. It's without a running quarterback and without Hopkins. To be honest, this kind of offense is plug and play. Is to get the ball out fast out of Jared Goff's hands. Don't make him take too many decisions. Get a lot of yak. That's how they're gonna win. So just looking at this offense, the Rams got a totally different offense with McVay. Looks a lot more efficient, and that defense is really, really stout, man. They, for the most part, they're pretty much shutting down the receivers. Zeke got his, but other than that, the Rams look pretty solid. So what we learned here, honestly, is, like I said, it's going to be hard. The Niners were the number 1 team in the Super Bowl last year and now last place in the division, but it's only week 1. So we're going to see. All right. Steelers versus Giants, 26-16. The Steelers end up winning. I don't think anybody's surprised. The Steelers defense is pretty solid. Big Ben looked pretty smooth out there. Juju looked a lot happier now with him because now he's getting the ball in the right place. Looks like the Steelers is, I wouldn't say ready to compete with the Ravens, but it's going to be a better matchup than it was last year. Juju looks a lot better, which is always good. That defense is always pretty solid. But Dupree, man, he kept jumping off the screen. I know TJ Watt is usually the guy, but I think they were just keying in on him, but they totally forgot about Bud Dupree. He, honestly, man, I knew he was decent, but I didn't think he was that good. He was jumping off the screen all over the place, making plays. So shout out to Bud Dupree. To be honest, man, the Giants look they look like they need some help on the O-line. They really stacked the hell out of the box out of Saquon. I know he's special, but man, if you're gonna keep going and hitting 3 guys before you even get to the line of scrimmage, you need some help, man. You need a big body receiver to go out there and be a dog. I love Slayton, but they just need one bona fide dog. Like, they had Odell there. I know they got rid of him. I know he's probably regretting it because he's complaining and throwing every little fit over there in Cleveland. But Daniel Jones looks good. He looks good. He looks like he looks like an upgraded Drew Lock. Drew Lock has the weapons and Daniel Jones doesn't. But they look very similar. They're both really, really good. I give the nod to Daniel Jones. But to be honest, I just think if the Giants had one bona fide weapon and some solid O-line work, Saquon would be a lot better because you know what he can do when he's out there in the middle of the field. He'll hurdle anybody. But without that, man, I don't know if that's gonna happen. So what we learned about this is that the Steelers defense is who we thought we were. The Giants could honestly win this division. I'm not really worried because right now the leader is Washington, which is crazy because they're not that good either. But let's talk about the last game. All right, Titans and Broncos. Yeah, that Titans kicker, man, I don't know what to say. That kicker's, I know he came over from the Patriots. He was like one of the best kickers of all time, and then he started having a doink fest. Like, he was just trash. I don't know what the hell happened. He just looked boo-boo out there, looked rattled, and all of a sudden he hit the game winner. Everybody says it's a redemption. Honestly, that was a chipper, man. There's a chipper. I mean, I know the Bengals kicker couldn't hit a chipper, but that was a chipper, man. I wouldn't give him too much credit because he has one job, man. I'm not gonna come out here and say, yo, kickers, man. Like, kickers are people too, obviously, but you got one job. You're not running. You're not conditioning. You're probably not dieting. Like, you're just big chilling, and you get paid millions to kick the ball. So if you can, kick it through the uprights for a good percentage, that'd be great. I know I'm not a kicker, but I'm pretty sure if I were to restart my whole career, I'd be a better kicker than a lot of kickers in college. Not the NFL, in college. So yeah, bingo. That's what I'm gonna go with. Titans end up winning 16-14 off the game winner. Like I said, it wasn't too impressive. What I was actually impressed with is the Broncos front without Von Miller. They actually really impressed me, man. They look pretty solid. They look like a couple years away. Drew Lock looked good. Jerry Jeudy looked pretty decent, even though he dropped a couple balls. He looked wide open. I'm excited to see Courtland Sutton, and I'm excited to see them and Von Miller, man. That's gonna be a scary sleeper team that could, give Mahomes probably and the Chargers. They're the only teams that could really give the Chiefs some type of resistance. But other than that, man, I think it's pretty clear cut and dry that the division runs through Kansas City. So that's all I have for week 1. I'll come back and I'll give you predictions for next week.